Pod in the City is a Sex in the City podcast and thus contains adult themes and explicit content. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Pod in the City. I'm Amanda.
And I'm John.
We're two besties who bonded over Sex in the City in college.
And now, 20 years later, we're reliving it like it's our very first time. Season 3, episode 17. What goes around comes around. Carrie decides she needs to apologize to Natasha, but it doesn't go as well as she had hoped. Meanwhile, Miranda dates a gorgeous detective and wonders if he's too good looking for her. Samantha gets more than she bargained for when she spends some time with another Sam Jones, and Charlotte is entranced by the family gardener. I think you call that dignitized, baby. Anyway, guys, that really is the moment that I remember so much from this episode, is like Charlotte making out with the hot gardener. You know, watching this when I originally did, I was 15 or 14 or something, I was like, oh my God. When they did any kind of up close shot on like a glistening chest, I'm like, I used to, and still I'm, I still ride that train, but when you're 14, you're living for that.
Well, what did you think of this? Oh,
okay.
Yeah. This is for anyone just listening. I took a couple screenshots of Trey there, and I took so many because he's kind of far away at first, but then it like changes camera angles, and then like they get these nice close-up ones, and I'm like, damn, they really were playing for the female gaze here. And
his body is like, I think they say T. He is so fine. Now, I like floppy hair. I do. I like the normal Trey floppy hair, but weirdly here it looks like a wig. Or something. Maybe it's just because he's so glistening and like, oh my. But ultimately, too, that, guys, if you've been following, somehow if you've dropped in and maybe you're an alien from another planet and you're like, where am I? You're at Pod in the City, babe. The Sex in the City podcast.
And just
we've
like
never claimed that. Exciting news, and just like that is premiering like soon, next month. So we are going to have a few weeks of some interim stuff. You know what I've been wanting to cover? The First Wives Club.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I haven't seen that since I saw it in theaters. So
okay, I don't know if it would be one of those situations where we just like cover something that's funny and there's nothing to snark about. Okay,
Muppet Christmas Carol was really fun, and we both like raved about it.
True. Give us some ideas, friends, in the comments on here, or what you could also do is check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/podinthecity. Over there, we have extra episodes every week. Like this week, we're doing Gales, which, guys, I am being dragged along watching girls. But I will say, I kind of liked this episode, maybe because it didn't have as much of an emphasis on Hannah, and also but Marnie.
Marnie's, it's the boys episode, but the dialogue between the two men are very good. It's like
very
great actors together with great.
I took this photo because they have really good chemistry.
Yeah, like Jack Black and what's his face with the thighs, that kind of chemistry.
Oh yeah, Jason Momoa. Yes, yeah. They're giving me this vibe of like. There was one point very early on where it was like, if they would kiss right now, I would not be shocked. They were just so like
progression.
They were just so vibey with each other, which I was like, ooh. And then there's this part where he's like pulling the leash. Adam is pulling the leash around Ray, and I'm not digging Ray. I'm not hot on Ray at all, but the way he pulls it around him, it's like, oh, I could just see like Anyway, guys, check that out on Patreon. What I was saying, though, is... What was I saying? This.
This. Well,
Trey?
hang on. I have a couple other housekeeping things really quickly here. Check out our weekly roundup every Wednesday at noon Mountain Standard Time. This is what we did last week, and we just talk about current events, pop culture. We you know what? We're getting a little more theatery lately. We're doing a lot of Broadway stuff, and people don't do it too much. So let us kind of out for a bit.
You know what? I could put a picture of the Pope and I could write dead across it. I've been trying to think of, what are those called? Like clickbaity.
Yeah, I have an idea. You get a picture of Sinead O'Connor ripping up the picture of the Pope on SNL and then superimpose Pope Francis on there. I don't think that would be sacrilegious or anything.
I think people like Pope Francis. Anyway, this is not Pope talk. This is Pod in the City, y'all.
Yeah.
And what you're here for is Sex in the City.
And just like that comes back end of May, last week of May, okay? So our plan, here's our plan. Oh my God.
We did do a trailer react, which we've gotten great feedback on. So we hope you'll check that out because it'll get you nice and prepped and lubed up for season 3, baby, which premieres May 29th. And Amanda's about to get your fingers ready, guys. Get those beans and fingers on them beans. Get it ready, baby, because Amanda's about to reveal some breaking news. I mean, we didn't actually really discuss this, but...
Oh, yeah, because everything happened kind of so quickly, right? There you go. And just like that returns May 29th.
Yeah. May 29th. It's back. That is a Thursday. Okay. So if we're logistically thinking here, okay, our schedule typically is that we put out our Sex in the City or And Just Like That episode and our Patreon episode over on our Patreon on Wednesdays. Early ad-free access. If you want to sign up, patreon.com/podinthecity. Or we also then put the And Just Like That or Sex in the City episode out for the public on Friday. The public.
Oh, that was right.
And so what's logistically going to change here is we are going to be, trust me, the moment that thing drops, I'm pressing play.
Yeah.
And what we're thinking, guys, let us know how you feel about this. We're thinking that
10 weeks, a very loaded 10 weeks, but you know what? I'm ready for it. We've been waiting for a year.
Yeah. We're trying to build our channel, our podcast, all of it. So what we think that on Thursdays, okay, we're going to watch the episodes and then we're going to do a live immediate reaction to that episode,
half an hour, 40 minutes,
maybe not even that long. I'm thinking 20 minutes.
I'd love to see that, but we get talking and then
I know, but I'm worried. You guys, if you know me, you know me really well if you listen to the Patreon, but if you know me, I'm an anxious person, so I'm thinking, are we going to run out of stuff to talk about when we do the actual recap? Because we'll have already talked. Anyway, so we're going to do a live reaction that's just going to be off the cuff. Here we are, and we're going to do that live so people can join in, comment, say your reactions too. So it'll be right on the tip of your brain. And then we're going to record our recap after that and put that out Friday. But then the ad-free part of that will just drop immediately once we're done recording. So it'll still be early. It'll just be a day later. But the Patreon episode, the extra episode, we can still drop on Wednesday. That'll be logistically, maybe we'll figure that out. But for right now, plan on Thursdays at noon, the same time as our Wednesday live. So Wednesday and Thursday live at noon, Mountain Standard Time. Both days, we'll be here. What I want you guys to also do right now is hit subscribe if you're new. Hit like. Hey, you know what I'd like you to not do is hit unsubscribe. Because, oh boy. I've been doing that lately. Oh boy. It's we get 2 people and then 3 people unsubscribe. I'm what is going on? Anyway, I understand. We may be harsh for some people's ears, but we balance each other out. In fact, it's hilarious because Amanda's known usually as the harsh one on people's ears. And yet over here, I'm the harsh one. Speaking of, check out Amanda's other podcast, We Love to Hate Everything. Over there, they do weekly lives, especially if you like Sister Wives. If you don't, though, they also did a 420 special, which I don't come in until about 50 minutes in.
Yeah, you got the time wrong, but here it is. Here's a picture of it.
So there you go.
Anyway,
check it out.
that was kind of a long housekeeping thing, but I'll put a timestamp.
But you know what? That's what housekeeping's all about. It's about getting to what it's about. All right, so I'm excited about this episode. My fiercest memory of this is that when she, after she's kissed the gardener and Bunny's like, "You're a McDougal now," I'm like, that actually really sums up that. I mean, at least my perspective of what people like that are like. You know, it is about status, about staying together. It doesn't matter if you're like.
That part is actually surprising to me because it seems like she's so like in love with her own son that she would be pissed about that. And mothers like that hate the wife no matter what. So any reason to kind of like dislike the wife.
Agreed.
She's drunk.
I was going to say, I do think they were implying that she was like wasted because she then proceeds to light the back end of a cigarette. And how that, you know what's going on when you light the back end of a cigarette.
I've done it.
I mean, I don't smoke cigarettes, but you know what I'm saying. When you light the back end of a crack pipe, you know what I mean. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I also love anytime that they're like in the Hamptons or in like a beautiful location. Speaking of beautiful locations, the gardener.
Yeah, I forgot how hot he was.
He is, though he and Trey give similar vibes, but he's like the free and sexual. And okay, that's what I was actually going to say. Sorry again, friends. We're all over the place
how
here.
Both of our brains work, but like
Trey,
your brain will usually follow where yours goes. So, I'm always with you.
Watching Trey in this. While this man is so fine, and I would love to, run my hands and other things all over him, the fact that we know the character legitimately, like, isn't sexual, or, like, I don't know what his deal is. Like,
waste. It's a real waste.
It doesn't make me, like, ultimately that scene, I wasn't like, ooh, fuck, yeah, he's so fine. It's more like, that guy doesn't have sex.
I know. Come on now.
And Charlotte, sure. Oh, okay. Though, guys, check out our last episode because we did kind of dig into like Charlotte is kind of puritanical-y, and I get where Trey wants a big titty hoe from a porn magazine.
Yeah.
Basically.
She's Madonna whore. But you get to see her nipples in the last episode. Let me say a couple of things really quickly. Right after this, I have to take my foster cat to her new home, and I was just about to adopt her when the application came in, so I was too late. I'm so sad.
Okay, let's talk. We'll talk about that on our Patreon.
Right. Well, that's not much else to say. That's just what I'm doing after this. The other thing I watched back our another thing on me and Jody's Patreon, we did a Scandival episode on our girl dinner, and John jumped in. But anyway, I went to rewatch it, and I never rewatch episodes, but I will not stop rubbing my nose because the seasons are changing and my allergies are fucking through the roof. And I just want to make a disclaimer. I don't do cocaine, and I'm not like Tom Sandoval who says I've never done cocaine. I actually do not do cocaine, but I was watching myself and I'm like, if I was watching this, I would think that girl does cocaine. So
I just had this wash over me where like I had a dream like 2 days ago where like in the dream it was taking like an air, like, those dreams where you're watching from the outside, you're watching yourself. It was like an angle, and from that angle, I had a huge bald spot. Like, and I don't right now. You know what I mean? But I still I just felt weirdly paranoid for a second, and I was like, wait, do I have anyway, guys?
I just wanted to make a couple. I feel like it's been forever since we've recorded. It's been a big week, okay, and I'm in perimenopause. So.
It has been a big week. And guess what, guys?
You sold a house.
Multiple. Anyway, if you're looking for a realtor in the Arizona area, check me out. What I was going to say is,
timestamp here. 15
technically, This is the penultimate episode of season 3.
Woo, woo. And you know what?
Podcast Mommy taught me what penultimate was, because I used to think it was the last one.
Yeah, but we actually got a couple comments about this episode to discuss for later.
We did.
So we will, and actually both people, it's about Miranda's hair, what she says to the cop. And I will say that like both people that wrote these comments and like their train of thought, I'm like, that's exactly like I experienced both of those exact trains of thought. I think all of us, the two of us and the two people that wrote the comments, I think all of us have a similar brain where we do connect 3,000 dots when we're having a thought. So we'll go over those in a second. But this is Sex and the City, season 3, episode 17, What Goes Around Comes Around. So starts out, Charlotte doesn't really, Charlotte does interact with the girls, but she's in the Hamptons for most of this episode. But I guess she comes back.
It starts with her in the Hamptons and it cuts to her at this lunch where they're all dressed weirdly.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've done gigs in the Hamptons and like there's nothing that would make me go back for lunch with the girls that I see once a week every month of my life. I am not going 2 hours back to the city. Even if you're on the train, I'm staying in the Hamptons. But I guess Charlotte's, I don't know.
Well, Charlotte's not getting dick, so she's fine escaping. Plus, like if you're stuck there with Bonnie. If you were stuck there with your mother-in-law, your husband who can't get it up for you, his brother and your sister-in-law who are judgy and drunks, wouldn't you like look for any?
Oh, for sure. Like my first note here is like I feel suffocated watching this. Like just like imagining like being immersed in this and being one of them. I've done like a ton of like little gigs here and there at like rich people's places, and I always enjoy that. I like being in the rich place, but kind of invisible. And I enjoy that, but I couldn't imagine engaging with these people or having to put on or like have conversations with these people all day long. Bunny.
Well,
the whole time.
Well, that's because, okay, so how does it start?
2 months into her marriage with Trey, Charlotte's relationship appeared to be a bed of roses. At least that's what it looked like to an objective onlooker. So Charlotte's hanging out with Bunny and her sister-in-law, and they're just making this like rich people banter. And Trey and his brother are playing tennis. And Bunny, and they're like, he's like, well, you should, let's do shirts and skins or something, old boy. And he's like, no, we don't have to wear white. And then Bunny's like, Trey, your father would roll around in his grave if he heard you. And I'm like,
yeah, they want to invite the girl. Trey wants the girls to play. And the guy's like, they're in pastels, it's whites only. And Trey's like, oh, it's fine. And that's when Bunny's like, your father would be rolling in his grave if he heard you. Like,
I know. Blah. So Charlotte gets up and she's walking around the property and she sees this gardener with these roses. And she's like, lovely roses.
This sexy gardener who gives vibes of Trey. And maybe they did that on purpose too.
Probably, because it's like if Trey could just also fuck me on top.
Like this is like the romance novel version of Trey. This gardener. And you know what? I like this juxtaposition idea. Not saying that when you're a gardener, it wouldn't be possible that you would be at Trey's status, but I do like that they're juxtaposing those two like against each other.
Yeah. Charlotte. Okay, so at lunch we smash cut to lunch, and Samantha's like, honey, Charlotte's like, oh, I feel so guilty. And Samantha's like, honey, what's the point of being in the suburbs if you're not gonna fuck a gardener? And Charlotte's like so horned up, and she's like, oh my god, I almost like masturbate. I want to masturbate about him, and like I'll think about. She's horned up. Carrie is in this red giraffe print dress that I think it's like a wrap dress, and it's red giraffe. And her hair is in like a little where the girls would take just like the little front triangle and like a little tiny thing here, and then the rest is all floofy. And while they're sitting here for lunch, I gasped every time I've seen this episode because this is just truly a living nightmare. Is they're all there, and in walks Natasha, and Miranda's like, do not turn around. And Carrie looks, and it's like this slow motion kind of thing, and they like see each other. And I really want to give Bridget Moynihan, is that her name? That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yes. There's another Moynihan out there right now that I feel like I always get my
Michelle, I think.
Michelle. Okay, but this is Bridget Moynihan. Her acting in this,
Natasha.
I never appreciate her because I've been conditioned to dislike her because she's like the wife. But like
rewatching this though, I can't believe that anyone would like Carrie.
I know, because also I always thought she was like a bitch to Carrie when she like yells at her, and I'm like, it is crazy. Carrie goes to meet her at lunch. That is a crazy.
I mean, okay. Oh, if it were me, I think I would have been way worse to Carrie. At the end of me watching this,
I think
I was like, I would have been a way bigger bitch to Carrie. Yeah. Carrie would be like bawling her eyes out because it is true. Like you watch this whole episode and it's like Carrie, you watch it as a 40-year-old or however old people are. I mean, I'm 39.
I'm a person with life experience and like more empathy for other people now.
And you're seeing it and you're like, it's very obvious what Carrie is doing here. And she's trying to get that apology for herself. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I get it. But like, in my old age, I realized that sometimes you fuck up so bad that you do just have to sit in it. And you're never going to be forgiven. And you don't deserve the forgiveness, honestly.
And if you think about it from Natasha's side, what could Natasha possibly get from hearing an apology from Carrie?
Yeah, I just don't want to see you.
I would be like,
so triggering to see this woman. Like, I can't even imagine.
Especially because she knocked her teeth out. To me, that's almost worse than the divorce situation.
And when she says the thing about her tooth, I'll read the whole monologue later, I used to think she was vain for saying that. Like, I'm like, oh, like, calm down.
I 100% understand.
So, like, I understand too, that is fuck, and she's a model. Like,
it does. I'm paranoid all the time to have one of my front teeth messed up because I'm like, they almost never, anyway, whatever.
I'm paranoid because that is not a free insurance in Canada. I would have to actually pay for that.
Here we pay for everything.
Okay, well, I know I used to live there for 20 years, Joan.
And we're going to start paying for even more. Yay!
I know. Well, we're paying for it up here too. It's not affecting me up here, babe. You were never USA, though. Were you ever like super USA?
When Obama was president.
Oh, yeah, true. That was a good time. It was a good time. Yeah.
November of 2024, the first 2 days, I was hopeful. Anyway, let's keep it pushing.
Natasha walks in with her friend and they both glare at them. And Carrie goes, oh my God, I can't believe there's a person in New York who could hate me this much. Which even as a 20-year-old watching this, I was like, the luxury of actually being upset that this is the first person ever that you've been like, that person hates me. I'm like, that would just be another person to add to the list. Like, how vain is Carrie? Like, I promise you, Carrie, there's many other people that have hated you that much.
Also, guys, Carrie's the victim.
Yes.
Carrie's the victim here, guys. Oh, poor Carrie.
I can't believe the other girls is like, well, like, what the fuck?
That's where I question often the other ladies, because I'm like, how do you let your friend just get away with a lot of this shit?
I don't know. I've had friends that have fucked up a lot too, and I still love them. But, I mean, you gotta hold them accountable. I will say also, the storyline and the script of this episode is very well done.
Very good.
Okay, so the way everything ties together. So Carrie decides that her only recourse is to go shopping, and she gets lost kind of south of Houston Street, and she asks this dude for direction. This is a very funny and well acted scene. She's in this alley, and this guy who I thought was on The Sopranos, but he's not. He's been in like 4 things.
He's hot though.
I know he is hot, but doesn't he look like he would have been in The Sopranos?
Yeah, he definitely has. Well, I mean, he's definitely typecast as what he is doing, which is
I think they could have gone a lot more offensive with the typecasting, honestly. But
well, of course,
very Italian hot guy robs her.
No, like hot Italian guy like robs her. You know,
Right.
that's a New York thing, right?
But he goes, the lines here, he goes, give me your bag. And she goes, oh, sir, I got turned around. Do you know where this street is? And he's like, give me your bag. And she goes, my what? And he goes, your bag. There's a couple beats and she goes, it's a baguette. And he's like, give me your fucking bag. And then he wants the Manolos. And she's like, no, they're my favorite pair. I got them half price at a sample sale. And then she gives it to him and then he runs off and she's like, oh, somebody stop him. He took my strappy sandals. And then she enters a salon and yells out, I've been robbed. And in true New York fashion, nobody really gives a fuck. All right.
In fact, they like give her like disgusted looks. There's a part later when Miranda ends up coming to the place and there's a woman getting her hair done who has this look on her face where she's like, right to Miranda. And I'm like, okay.
$75 paycheck per day. Okay. Well, what? Oh, this is Carrie's first time being mugged. Have you ever been mugged?
No, but my house was robbed. I've never been mugged because I'm a 6'2" man who weighs over 200 pounds. I mean, like, I can't imagine someone mugging.
I mean, if someone has a gun, you can mug anyone, right?
Yeah, but I think like stealing a woman's purse is a lot easier than going up to a big old man and being like, give me your wallet. I mean, knocking on every piece of wood around me because I do not want a gun pointed at me or a knife. I am so paranoid about getting stabbed in the stomach by a knife.
For sure. I have a couple friends who were mugged in the parking lot of Hamburger Mary's at like 2 p.m. in Phoenix.
What?
Yeah, I just always remember being like, that's wild. Like, you got mugged?
Dude, that was targeted. That was a hate crime.
Maybe. And my roommate, it was my roommate, Bryce. And he's like, well, joke's on them because all they really got was a library card out of it. Don't mug two college students, two music theater college students. Anyway, so she later Miranda shows up with these shoes that she's brought for Carrie, and Carrie's like a total bitch about them, and it's just comically visually funny that the shoes are way too big on Carrie. And Carrie is giving her story to this guy, Detective Stevens, and I always thought this part doesn't really make sense because like Miranda walks in and he like has this like double take with Miranda where like I understand she's like beautiful and stuff, but also like he's talking to Carrie who just like visually looks hotter than Miranda. Miranda's like dressed like business lawyer and Carrie's like looking cute.
Now, here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Everyone has their types. So
yeah, true.
Miranda comes in her like suit and everything with her short kind of like whatever hair. He maybe either has like a mommy thing or he has like a thing for women like that or he likes redheads. Well,
so here's where we're going to get into this topic here. And this has always bugged me too, and it bugs these other people. But here's a line. He goes, "What are you, like Irish?" He's into Miranda, and so he asked her if she's Irish, and he's like, "Oh, I assumed you were Irish because of the hair." And then Miranda's line back to him is, "Well, anyone can be Irish with the right colorist." Now, let me read these comments of these people because I've thought all these thoughts as well. You saved this on the thing, right, Joan?
I left. I have one of them.
I got it. I don't know if you record. This is from Jessica. I don't know if you recorded it already, but if not, when you get to this episode, can you acknowledge when Miranda jokes that anyone can be Irish with the right colorist? To me, this joke implies that she colors her hair, which I know Cynthia, blonde, does for the character. I always forget that. To me, Cynthia Nixon is a natural redhead in my head.
Yeah.
That she's blonde. Okay. But Miranda herself is always referred to as a natural redhead. Brady even inherits it. So am I crazy or does that joke not make any sense? I do feel like that writer's room has a habit of adding jokes sometimes that only sort of work to fill out non-consequential conversations. And I think this is one of them. I've yet to hear a Sex and the City Potter analysis video address this, so would love your thoughts. Thanks. I thought that was such a well-worded description, by the way, because if I tried to say all that, I would be like hemming and hawing for 15 minutes. But
I'll say we have very intelligent listeners who at times I'm shocked that you're willing to follow the journey over here. But Jessica, good question. My thought.
Oh, hang on. Somebody adds to that. So let me just get both thoughts out because they're both the same thought. Karen, not a Karen, responds.
Hey, Karen, not a Karen.
Hager. I just had a combo about this with someone because we know that Steve's mom basically looks like she could be Miranda's mom with that hair. Ben Stiller's mother, Joe.
Love her.
Amazing. So she could have dyed her hair, but the way Carrie comments on Brady having red hair when she is telling Charlotte makes it feel like it's natural. And the episode where she seems to have not even brushed her hair in a while, that's a good episode. So Samantha gives her the hair appointment. She has not even had an ounce of grow out. I have thought about this often because in college I had a professor with bright red hair, and she once made a comment that she had been dyeing it for so many years. She felt if she had a kid, it would just come out with red hair. So I always wondered if Miranda is supposed to be natural or not. Okay. So same thought, but also adding like the Steve's mother and like two examples of them noting that Miranda seems to have natural red. What do you think?
Okay. I think that Miranda probably does go to the colorist to get that touched up because it is shocking.
And it changes color.
And yeah, and it's also not a red that to me is like, that is not a natural red.
You know what? I have a friend in high school whose hair looks exactly like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's never dyed it, and it's that exact color. Yeah.
I'm assuming that for her age or whatever, maybe she gets a brightener, a glazing or something. I don't know what to call them. But I do think the show, my interpretation now, and who knows, this could be wrong, and this could change tomorrow. I feel like when she was talking to that cop guy, maybe she was like just trying to be like jokey, like flirtatiously jokey, as opposed to being like, when he says, "Oh, are you Irish?" I think she's like saying, "Oh,
that's exactly where my head went." I feel like just the easiest answer is the correct answer, which is just she's making kind of a self-deprecating joke.
Yeah.
Like just, oh, well, anyone can be redhead with the right colorist. So I think we're probably thinking too much into it. But I mean, I just think, because also the plot line of this is that she feels like she's not as attractive as him. So it would make sense that she would immediately go to like something self-deprecating.
That's why I was thinking it's like a flirtatious joke, like self-deprecation, because she's feeling immediately like this hot guy is judging and being like, noticing my bright red hair and being like, you're ugly for it. Maybe because that's what she's used to receiving for it. And so when she's getting this, when it's actually a positive attention, she's kind of like,
yeah.
So but I do believe the show believes that Miranda has red hair. I don't think that because Brady has red hair.
That is such a good point that both of those women, or I assume they're both women in our comments, made off of each other. Like the detail of these points is that Brady has red hair, but then Karen comes in with, well, Steve's mom has red hair, so it kind of come from that lineage. These are both great points.
I think that Steve's mom having red hair follows a pattern too of this idea that, and now this was 1000% unintentional. That people are attracted to their mother or father.
I wonder if they had her, what's her name? Jerry Stiller's wife.
What is her name?
Anne something?
Anne
Harada, but it's not Anne Harada. Ben Stiller.
No. Let me look it up because she deserves her flowers. Anne
Mira.
I love
I was close with Anne Harada. I was like in the right zone there.
Anne Mira.
And Mira, did she? I wonder if they had her dye her hair. Be like, oh, we want you.
She's always had red hair, I think.
Oh, she has. Okay. Is it natural?
I wonder if they cast her. Who knows?
She's so good, but she is so good at playing like kind of drunk, like functioning alcoholic.
Oh yeah. Like guys, thanks for the comments. If you would like to leave some more comments, that'd be great. And tell us what you think. Do you agree that like maybe it was just like a flirtatious joke? Because in my assumption, Miranda has red hair, though I think that people with red hair often will go get it like fluffed up a little bit, or like, brightened or filled in, or especially if you're starting to have some grays, which
for sure
if you're in your 30s, you would.
When you knew, like when we hung out together in our 20s, I think I had red hair for most of that.
You had red hair for like a huge chunk. I think when we first were friends, you had red hair because you also did that one show, Anything Goes.
Oh yeah, my wigs were red in that.
But I think you had red hair
I did
during
have
it.
red hair, but I also wore a wig. But
You went back and forth. Guys, in case everyone cares. Everyone's like, we don't give a shit.
Now that I finally got my hair like cut correctly, professionally, and dyed correctly, my next dye job, I'm gonna do brown, but I'm gonna put a little red tint in there so that it hits the sun and it's a little red, a little burgundy.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine because that's my hair.
You look good with like a strawberry blondie ready.
Yeah, let me lighten it a bit. We'll see. Now I have my own colorist. Look,
everyone's like,
I brought it back
guys. Next.
Later, that's it. Samantha now has the Sam Jones storyline now. Okay, so she's
getting her phone is just ringing off the hook. They're like, hey Sam, hey Sam, buddy, is it you? Hey, I'm coming to the party tonight. Like, how's it going? What's the party tonight? That's literally the phone call.
So she finally answers, and she's like, exactly who is this Sam Jones? And where is this fabulous party? Now, Samantha, all of these people leaving messages are so clearly
college
wrong place.
Maybe that's why she's down. She can hear that they're like men. Every one of them's a man. So she's like, where is this fabulous party? And I'm sure the guy on the phone's like,
yeah, right.
Clayton Hall or whatever it ends up. Oh, they just give her an address.
But they wouldn't do that. You would say, oh, maybe he doesn't live in a dorm. Oh, no, they do live in a dorm. So you would say they live at that dorm.
She had to get there somehow, right?
What's that dorm at ASU called? Brad lived in it, and it was
there's like tons of them.
But one of them was called the STD capital of Phoenix. I forgot. It was called like Missoula, or it wasn't Missoula.
Great.
Manzanita. That's what it was. Manzanita. Okay. Anyway, Miranda is spinning out over her date, so she calls Carrie. She's like, "This guy's in my apartment. He's waiting for me. I've been spent 20 minutes. Like, can't figure out an outfit." I don't know if it's like this for guys, but like there are some days you wake up and every outfit looks good on you. And then there's days where literally nothing looks good on you. You look like a whale. And on days like that, I almost feel like maybe I'll just cancel the date because like once that starts, like it's not getting better. It's almost like a wash.
Now, I hate to be this person and talk about logistics here, but what did she answer the door in her bra?
She probably answered it in one outfit or like a robe. Probably a robe.
He already saw you in a frumpy ass like
your work
suit, so like anything's an improvement. And like maybe it's just because I'm at my age. Who knows? I'm now at this age where I'm just like, well, if he doesn't like you, he doesn't like you.
I feel like both of us care, like our first priority all the time is our time not being wasted. We both said that. So if I showed up for a date and the person answered and they were like not ready, I would be so fucking irritated.
If they weren't ready, I would be annoyed, but I would be okay for maybe 5 minutes.
Sure.
20 minutes?
Yeah, no.
I'd be like, what's going on back there? I would assume they're shitting or they're like, I would assume something's going on because if it takes you 20 extra minutes just to pick out an outfit, this also, and now for me, I hate when people are late, like incredible, like,
me too. It's not good.
Sometimes I'm late for this, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
this is very different than actually.
This is so low stakes. The two of us here,
and both of us want to always push it back. So if you establish ever like we're meeting at this time, and I will be pissed if you don't show up on time, I would absolutely be there at time.
I would never make a date with someone, a friend, a date, or anything, and not be 5 minutes early. Almost.
And I'm usually texting the person, I'm on my way, 5 minutes out. Like I'm always.
This is ridiculous because if I were him, I'd be like, and in my mind, I'm like, well, you're always going to be late for everything we do, and I'm not going to play this game because that I hate. I will not be late because of you. I will go. You can meet me there. Maybe that's because I'm an only child who's been single way too long. But I'm like, see ya.
I have been listening to Doughboys for 10 years now, and it has been a thing, like a cute, funny bit the whole time that Mitch is constantly late and like half an hour late every time. every time. And it's always like a joke, but everyone is clearly annoyed with it. Like guests comment. I feel like people try to come on and they'll try to comment like, yeah, well, Mitch, you did show up. And it's 10 years out now. This man is now 43 years old. And like the amount that it irritates me, it like fills me with such white hot rage.
Now,
still do this.
I know that we're going to have some listeners that are definitely those like people who are like late people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be candid here for a second. Please don't hate us, and this is not a time to leave us a 1-star review because you're upset that we don't want you to be
we're
late.
Calling you out.
Guys, here's an idea. Take one patch of 30 minutes, shift your whole schedule like that 30 minutes, and then you'll be on time for everything you do. That's the part. You're setting yourself up for failure. If you're late to your first thing, you're going to be, oh my God, I feel like my voice just sounded like a cartoon character there. I'm like, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you go to the next, you know what I mean? Guys, get it together. If you're a grown-up adult and you're 30 minutes late to everything you do.
No, if that's like a thing that you're known for, that is not cute.
And I'll tell you right now, if you're known for that, people are talking shit about you.
Yeah. People all like you a little less than they would if you were a little more on time. Okay, I guess
controversial. Trigger warning, guys.
Controversial to be respectful.
Well, there are some people who there's going to be a commenter on here who is going to be like, I'm one of those always late people. I'm really busy,
and I'm actually just
and like if my friends can't accept me for my time things, then whatever. And I'll be like, well, then anyway.
All right. Charlotte. Wait. Carrie, Miranda, and Detective Stevens. Oh, here we are. We're going
so all
Carrie, oh my God. Miranda's spinning out over her day. Here we go. Miranda calls Carrie and she's like, oh my God, this guy's way too hot for me. And Carrie's like, no, you're good. And she's like, Carrie's like, maybe this is karma because you've like been treated badly by like so many people, even though I would argue that Steve's not treated her badly. Except for that.
This is the karma coming back that she now like deserves a really hot guy.
Right.
I will say he is attractive.
Yeah.
But like, he's not the hottest guy that's been on this show.
He's not Smith Jared.
They should have really tried a little harder, I think.
I agree. Because when they're at the restaurant later, she's looking around and all the other women in the restaurant are like, what did they? And like, they're completely evenly matched.
The idea is that all these women are literally, their seats are sopping wet by looking at this man. And he's just kind of like, maybe I'm out of perspective because I have had sex with men who are this or look like this guy, and I would not be like, wow, oh my God.
Very attractive. He wouldn't give me like a second look. But
you don't think so?
I don't
think he's like model. He's not like stud model. They're like acting like he is a stud.
And they're all mad at Miranda because she's so clearly and like I just think that they're even.
Agreed.
Carrie thinks, no, this is good karma for you. And then Carrie worries to herself about karma. Does what go around really come around? She's saying, like, am I always going to have bad karma because of what I did to Natasha? Is there such
I don't think that's your only bad thing you've done, Carrie. So.
Right. Is there such a thing as relationship karma? Carrie and Samantha now head out to the Sam Jones party. Carrie has 2 long braids and a white strapless, floral maxi dress with a big gold butterfly belt.
She looks fabulous. The two of them both look fabulous.
They do.
That's what these are from.
Yes. And
Samantha's also wearing this, you know what? This cut of dress where it goes like
great shoulder
here and then it's like to cut like this. That is so hot. It's not a halter because it goes up the back too. Like a halter would just go around the neck. This is like, it goes up here and down the back too, but it does look like a halter, but it's really
of a halter. She's got really good collarbones.
Yes. I don't know. That look is very hot. Like you don't need cleavage at all.
No,
like really hot.
It's a very flattering look for actually, I think most women. She now turns to because Carrie's yapping on and on about her karma. And then Samantha now turns to Carrie and she's like, what if I told you something that I'm not supposed to tell you? And now she reveals that Big and Natasha are getting divorced, and she left him, and she's back to working at Ralph Lauren. I have so many thoughts of this. First of all, why did she quit Ralph Lauren in the first place? I judge her. But Samantha, I would be like, you kept that from me? I'm shocked.
I actually don't know why she would keep it from her,
I
but
would immediately tell everyone.
But Samantha does say, "Oh, I just wanted you to have fun at the party," which from Samantha's, okay, I'm going to take this now from Samantha's perspective. If my friend is Carrie Bradshaw, and I know that if I tell her the most minor thing about anything, everything I'm going to have to listen to is about now her spiraling out about Big, et cetera, et cetera. I want to have a good time at the party myself. So it's not just about saying, you have a fun time. I don't want to be bogged down by your bullshit.
For sure. Yeah. Well, she goes, she's back to working at Ralph Lauren. And Carrie goes, who told you that? And Samantha goes, oh, little birdie, I fucked at Ralph Lauren. Anyway, they show up and it's a dorm. And she's like, it's a dorm. And she's like, well, I need to get up there at least and tell him to change his fucking phone number. Like, what is this kid going to do about it? This is not his fault, is it?
His phone, there is nothing to do because
I guess
they're both. The idea and premise here doesn't work anymore because they're both listed in the phone book as Sam Jones.
She would be listed as Samantha Jones.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking is like, why is she not being?
And would
she would be the one who needs to correct it.
Dorm number?
The what?
Would his dorm phone number be in the phone book?
Were there landlines?
I mean, yeah, but would that go in the phone book?
No, we're gonna have to just do this thing called suspend our disbelief because things aren't adding up. But they end up going up in the dorm for the party.
They do. There's a funny line here where Samantha's like, "You think all these cute boys are still in college?" And Carrie's like, "Yes." So Samantha finds Sam Jones and he's like, this guy's a very good actor. He's like very perfect for this because he looks at least over 18. So
he looks like he'd be in college, but he also looks like he could be a virgin, which we find out, oh boy, he's a virgin.
She goes, Sam Jones, and he goes, yes. And she goes, Sam Jones. It appears I'm getting all your fucking calls. And he goes, well, if you're getting all my fucking calls, that explains why I'm still a virgin.
Now, I completely understand. I'm going to truncate their story a tiny bit here.
Yeah.
Cut some of the parts out. But I understand his ultimate infatuation with her because imagine you're like 18, you're in college, you're at your dorm.
And by his over-the-top accent, he's clearly from like a small town.
Oh yeah, you're totally, he's probably never been with a woman. And this like stunningly gorgeous, like very mature woman comes up to you and is like, does her whole bit. Oh my God, I would be like infatuated too.
What about the other?
Sam gets infatuated.
Like, okay, would you be? I guess it would be enticing if he said he was a virgin. Though, I'd be like, he's gonna be bad.
You know what? I would do it if I was Samantha because ultimately, that's a great person for him to have lost his virginity.
Yeah,
like, if I were him, you'd then go back in time and be like, I lost my virginity to like the most stunning older woman who showed me how to like fuck. Like, I would be like, wow. Now, there are people out there who I'm sure are in the puritanical culture who are like, she took advantage of a young man or some kind of
advantage. I just think that I would not be I would feel really icked out by like having sex with 28 or younger. God, even then I'd be like really embarrassed to tell anyone.
I personally right now, well, I don't know. I can't even say.
We are about Samantha's age. So like, are you going to hook up with a kid in a dorm?
I wouldn't call them a kid.
Well, he is a kid. College?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah,
in my opinion, I wouldn't. First of all, Samantha's not the one who's pursuing it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if I had some young piece that was like groveling at my feet, telling me acting like they wanted to worship the ground I walked on, I'd probably give him a fuck. Why not?
Yeah, I
Like,
guess. Ugh.
I feel like you
I
would.
want them to get them awake, like, be like,
No, I think you would, and you'd be like, "Oh, well, though it's kind of hard because, anyway, keep going."
what? Wait, what? Where were you going with that? You think I would do it and then what? Like break his heart afterward?
No. I was gonna say I didn't. I was thinking like more of like, would you be a type that would be like a person to teach a virgin how to have sex? I mean, you don't even like,
I mean, I would break out the dirty talk and it would like spin his head around. So no, unless that's
Oh,
what he does.
I also think logistically he would have probably come within like 10
That's another
seconds.
thing. Actually, I was gonna ask you that. So I feel like there's that trope about a guy losing his virginity and then immediately coming, right? But like, what if you're jerking off like 6 times a day? Are you actually, because it probably feels way
I think
better.
it's different.
It feels like better.
When you're with a person, you're not just like rubbing one out. You're like, there's the connection part where like that, oh my God, real talk time. But like that gets me, like for me personally, how about that connection and that like moment and kissing and stuff, that works me up more than if they were grabbing my dick and just like jacking it off.
Sure. I guess I'm wondering, like, if you've cummed in your life several times, would it still be that instant?
Yes,
but I guess the sensation would be so different.
Because imagine there's a woman in front of you with boobies.
Samantha is like, really? Yeah, you're right. I think this is like fine. Stunning. This is a great story for him. But then again, also like this might fuck him up for the rest of his life because no one will ever compare to this. No, I would hate
It'll definitely make him chase. He will be chasing this feeling for a very long time.
Yeah. Oh, so Miranda and Detective Stevens come back from their date.
Oh, wait, sorry. They do establish that Samantha had a bad losing her virginity situation. And that's also part of why she's like, you know what? Maybe I can give him a better story than I had for my own.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess it's fine. Anyway, so Miranda and Detective Stevens come back from their date and he kisses her and he says, "I'll call you." So great, it went well. Carrie and Samantha now walk down the stairs and Carrie gets shoved. She almost fell down the stairs.
She like acts as though she's been like beaten within an inch of her life.
Right.
She's like, oh my God.
If you can believe right after that, she can't get a taxi and she can always get a taxi. So therefore, the universe is out to get Carrie.
Well, it's a long time coming, ho.
Yeah. So Charlotte now has a sex dream. The blocking of this is very strange because like she has a sex dream about like the gardener. First of all, I think 99.99999% of the time when people have sex dreams, you never actually make it to the sex, but she does make it to the sex in this dream. And her head is like slamming up against her headboard. And I just don't really understand what exactly is happening to make that. Because
it's as though she's like laying there and she's going, It's like she's like, I don't know. Well, Trey doesn't know either. Because Trey wakes her up and he's like, honey, you're having a nightmare or something. And it's like,
she's clearly having a sex dream.
She's like,
nightmare, babe. So,
and then there is a cute, not cute, but like funny-ish moment where he's like, honey, you're having a nightmare. And she's like, oh. And he's like, and you're all wet. Which he's touching her forehead, but like I think there's a touch of double entendre.
I think so too. This is basically how I wake up every morning since I started perimenopause, by the way. The whole bed is fucking soaked. Not in a good way, baby.
Not your vagina, though. Just
definitely not my vagina.
Your back.
It's like a freezing cold thighs. Me and Jody text each other every morning and we give each other a rundown on how soaked our bed was when we woke up.
Cute.
Carrie can't get over her own karma. So the next step obviously is to call Natasha at her fucking job again. Insane.
Again, friends, this is just to make Carrie feel better. Because you cannot she cannot. Does Carrie even say once that she is doing it for Natasha?
No. And actually, you know what? I think about this episode a lot whenever I think of apologies. Like this episode really did stick with me on like sometimes it's better to not. Sometimes it's better to not do the apology. You don't deserve it. And the person, it's gonna hurt that person more for you to go and put them through this.
If you're going to give an apology, you need to think that it is not apology. If not for you, it should be for the other person. But sometimes people aren't ready for an apology. People also like Carrie. She isn't just wanting to say an apology and take any reaction that Natasha gives her. I think Carrie in her mind thinks that I'm going to go to apologize to Natasha, and then Natasha's going to say, it's okay, Carrie. I understand.
We were better off not with each other. We weren't right for each other. I'll be fine.
Trust me, if I was Natasha, no. If I'd pull a what's her name? What the hell's her name? Eileen from Smash.
You throw a martini in her face.
You throw a drink at this bitch.
I think I would accept an apology. I would never accept an apology from my ex-boyfriend.
Because I wouldn't accept an apology from either of them. Because like, what are you even Carrie? Like, or any woman in general? That'd be like? I mean, in a situation where maybe someone has had sex with someone who is married. Let's say their person found out and they like broke up afterwards. What are you?
Oh, like, okay, like my ex, I met him and it turned out he was married, and then like all this shit, obviously it was awful. I would love to apologize to his ex-wife, but like this is the same situation where I'm like, I don't deserve that.
And why she doesn't want it?
She doesn't want it. She
has not. You
never accept it.
You, in fact, the best thing that can happen with that other woman or other person or whatever is that they're gone out of your life forever. You never have to think about this person again, because all it's going to do is be like, well, why did they want them, not me? Why this, that, and the other? Why was it this? Now, in my opinion, ultimately, Big and Natasha were a bad match to begin with. Of course, yeah. And I'm surprised she would even marry him. But I think ultimately Big probably lied to her about who she was. I mean, we could go into a deep dive.
Yeah, about Natasha. Anyway, Charlotte has a section. We have this. Her sister-in-law, Charlotte. Now, Carrie calls Natasha's office and they're like, "You're going to be waiting forever." So, so it's not happening. So, but don't worry, guys. Carrie, nevertheless, she persisted. Oh my God. Great. So Charlotte talks to the gardener. She's back at the Hamptons, and they kiss. And her sister-in-law.
She's like, "Oh." Here's literally what this is the game that I'm going to start playing. I'm going to walk up to like a hot gardener and be like, "Oh, you do such a great job on these roses. What are they called?" And he's like, what the hell does he say? Something. He's like, they're an offspring of American beauties. And she's like, "Oh, that's so beautiful." And then they just start kissing.
What's really funny is that in this episode, Miranda says, "I'm no Mina Suvari, but I know how to."
I put that together too.
It was on purpose.
I think it was because didn't American
Beauty come out? Because it must have been like this exact year. That's the movie that. Hey, Alex Trebek. I'll take movies that didn't age well for 100, please.
Oh, Lord. I mean, just the star.
1999, Jones. So this was like in theaters when this episode was airing.
You know what's funny is until this episode today, I didn't realize that movie was called American Beauty because it's about that type of rose.
This second you just said it now. I still didn't put that together. She's covered in roses.
Because there's the scene famously, if you guys don't watch American Beauty if you've never seen it, but there's like a scene where Mina Suvari's an underage girl being naked with rose petals like raining on and Kevin Spacey is
how old she actually
being
was.
Kevin Spacey.
So she was she was 20 when she filmed that.
Oh, okay. But she's playing like a high school student.
Yeah. I do remember, in that movie, have you seen it?
Like in 1999.
The one thing I remember is when, spoiler alert, Kevin Spacey is murdered. His wife goes up to all of his clothes in the closet and she like grabs them all and smells them. And like, I always, it's the one good part of the movie.
I more prefer when Heath Ledger does that in Brokeback Mountain.
We should do, oh God, no, we shouldn't do Brokeback.
We cannot do that. Oh my God. What a traumatizer.
Movies ever made, honestly.
I remember going to the theater, seeing Brokeback Mountain. I went with a friend of mine and they literally turned to me at one point and were like, "Are you okay?" Because I was like, I was like choking on my snot.
In Calgary, Joan.
It was?
Yeah, the Rocky Mountains.
How interesting.
Or Banff. It's Calgary. Sam Jones, right? Okay, so Charlotte's sister-in-law sees her. Sam Jones now shows up to Samantha's house because, again, her address is in the phone book. And they fuck. And then he says, "I love you." And she goes, "Oh, honey, that wasn't love. That was just sex." And he's like, "No, I really do love you, ma'am." And then she's like, "All right, bye-bye." She actually says that. Charlotte now, it's cocktail hour and everyone's drunk. And the sister-in-law she doesn't even wait a couple days or like use this to blackmail Charlotte. She's like, "I had an interesting day. I did this in the morning and then I walked around the garden and I saw Charlotte kissing the gardener." And then Bunny goes, "Charlotte, you're a McDougal now." She's fucking wasted. Trey's upset.
Then it looks to Trey and he doesn't look upset. His reaction is nothing.
He reacts.
He's like,
well, by the way, I didn't realize how many people really hated Trey. I was surprised by the Steve hate, but people really don't like Trey either in all of our comments.
Oh, people don't like Trey?
Yeah, you like responded to a couple of them.
Oh, yeah, that we don't like Trey, but we like Kyle MacLachlan.
We like him when he's doing this. Oh, baby.
How did he get that body? But he was on Melrose Place and stuff, right?
Charlotte was on Melrose Place.
I thought he was.
He was on Twin Peaks.
But I thought he was on something.
He was probably in a whole shit.
Where he had to be hot like that.
Well, his whole career. You're probably thinking of everything he's ever done.
Here's the thing, is like, I think back in the day, back when this show was on, it was not expected that actors looked like this. I'm just going to say, nowadays, they expect like the geeky best friend in a movie
Seymour
to
and
look like
Top of Horrors looks like
exactly. That. So I think in this time period, someone like him did stand out to an impressionable young person who may sometimes find men attractive to me. So
the 90s were very like Jerry Seinfeld was kind of the look people were going for.
Well, no. Like I never was attracted to
I wasn't attracted to him, but that's the body type that men had from like the 70s into the 90s.
I would say like even guys that were supposed to be hot, they still had body, like they were thin, but they weren't like huge bulging muscles and rippling abs like God, I keep forgetting like this.
Okay. By the way, we are both fighting with this banner, aren't we?
Here's the thing. I want people to like this. If you're watching the video, like
stimulating me.
Makes me feel like I'm on the news, like I'm on CNN.
Yeah.
Like it.
Miranda. Oh, that's it. Sam Jones blows up Samantha's phone. That's pretty much the end of it. I think Samantha changes her number after this. So he's like, Sam Jones, I'm in love with you. Ah! God. This is a nightmare.
I guess the moral of the story is don't take a college student's virginity or else they'll fall in love with you. Makes sense.
I guess it's not like they can date. Like, I mean, I guess when you're him, you do think that it is possible to date.
I get it. You know what? Weirdly, I get it. I get his perspective.
Well, speaking of Jerry Seinfeld, this was the exact age difference when he was dating his girlfriend. Oh, wait. No, she was actually in high school, but he was Samantha's age. So if it's
he's a predator.
He's also like a nightmare, I think.
He's a predator.
Comedians in cars getting coffee. He comes off as such a fucking douchebag.
The episode of that with him and Miranda sings, I think that is one of the most atrocious things to ever.
He hates her. He is.
I don't think he does, because he actively chose to bring her on to like,
I don't think so.
The Tonight Show or something, and she was in character the whole time, and it was the most awful. You haven't seen that?
No, and I'm not going to.
They go on together.
Are they like buddies? That would, yeah, they would. Well, they both love the young ones.
Oh dear God!
Maybe they bonded over that.
Speaking of, there's a storyline in our girls episode that I was like, "Wow, I'm not shocked Lena Dunham wrote that." Continue.
What?
Continue. You guys will hear it in our Patreon. Patreon.com/honestly.
Miranda.
This mother up.
Oh, Miranda's on her second date with this cop, and she gets too drunk because the waitress thing, everyone's staring at her with this hot guy, and she realizes everyone is looking at her and thinking, what is this?
I'd say there's a mix of paranoia in here, and that the drinking isn't helping, and then she just gets shit-faced.
Well, it's a 6 vodka martinis later. She like ravishes him, and she says, I'm no mean. I don't believe that is such an overserve. That restaurant would be like shut down. There's
6
no way.
Martinis is like 3/4 of a bottle of alcohol almost.
No, look,
isn't it?
I could drink like not a handle. I could drink a 1.75 probably in a day. But 6 vodka martinis is like over a pint. And that is in 1 hour in a date.
If I drank 2 straight vodka martinis, I would be drunk.
I would be drunk.
It's
in that amount of time, because like when I was drinking, I would at least mix it with a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
that's just alcohol.
That's pure liquor. It's like taking 4 shots.
Well, the heartburn I can feel. Can you imagine having just 6 straight vodka martinis?
I would never have that. I have had espresso martinis though, and baby, those go down pretty smooth.
Yeah. Anyway, also how expensive that would be. Anyway, so she goes, I'm not Mina Suvari, but I'm great in bed. Okay, so Charlotte talks to Trey now. This is when all this is happening with the glistening abs and the tennis. And he says, I guess, I can't give you what you want. So from time to time, I'll have to look the other way. And she goes, I don't want someone who's going to look the other way. I want a husband who's going to take me in his arms and make me not want to kiss the gardener. Mm-hmm. And he's like, there's so many good things, Charlotte. Why can't this just be one thing that, why can't you just accept me for this or whatever? Okay. And then she goes, when we get back to the city, we need to separate. He goes, all right.
Real here, guys. Yeah. Charlotte only met Trey this season.
Yeah, a few episodes ago.
They met. And then within that time, they got engaged and married, and now are going to be separated. Y'all, this is Charlotte's. You know what? This is why I really like Charlotte's storylines. Part of all of this is is building up this idea of like that what you think is what you think you need isn't always what you need, and I like that. I love that.
Agree. So okay, so now we have this last scene of Sam Jones. God, he's back. He actually shows up to her apartment. He's screaming. Okay, so we wrap up that storyline. She changes her number. Oh, by the way, Miranda now wakes up with a huge hangover. I'm impressed with the makeup on this, with how, and I can feel it. That feeling of falling asleep in your makeup and you wake up and your eyes like are raccoony, but like also kind of in your eyes. Oh God, it's just the fucking worst. So she's kind of all fucked up and she's crashing against the wall. And then it says he left her with, he left after fucking her, mind you. He does go through with the fucking. He leaves her a phone number for her local AA chapter. That is shitty. Even when I was in my 20s and wasn't an alcoholic, I thought that was a fucked up thing to do. It's like cunty.
I would say that I just think I don't love Miranda's storyline in this episode. Because the idea is that she's insecure, thinking she's not hot enough to be with a guy, so then it makes her drink too much, she isn't good enough for the guy anyway because she's a drunk.
I just don't like that he left her. He's accusing her of being an alcoholic, basically.
Which every instance he's been with her, she has gotten like blackout drunk.
I mean, I guess, but like, I honestly, if a guy got drunk with me on a date, my head would never go to, I would assume like, he was really nervous and got drunk, which is exactly what happens.
Agreed.
I wouldn't leave him a phone number for his local AA chapter. So now,
pretty presumptuous.
Charlotte arrives home to her subletted apartment. So what? The people that were living there had to fuck right off, like.
She's like,
out back from the Hamptons.
Like, hey, yeah, hi. I know we had set this up for, the next year and a half, but I keep having these sex dreams about the gardener, and my husband can't get it up. I'm kind of in a spot. Like, you get what I mean, right? And the subletter's like, I get you, girl.
But I guess when you're subletting at that kind of real estate, the people
you're subletting that anyway.
I think it would be like a situation like Jinx Monsoon is currently subletting a place while she's in Pirates on Broadway. So it's probably a situation like that where it's like not that big a deal. Or for like Seema's boyfriend and just like that, how he's like wasn't he kind of subletting or was he buying?
To me, like my vision of a sublet situation is like when someone goes away to do a show for 3 months and they need to sublet their room in an apartment. It's not when like a rich ass anything. It's usually like a shitty apartment that has 4 roommates and they need to fill 1 bedroom because you're going to be gone for 3 months and you can't afford that with your contract in wherever you go to do your other show.
Yes, that is true. And when I lived with Nick in New York, he went away to do a show in Connecticut and he got a subletter, and it was the subletter that he got was like 21, and he was the first guy that I fucked after my divorce. And then he still will send me Facebook requests.
So you do fuck 21-year-olds.
I was 28, so that was a little better. Yeah. He was good. He had a big dick.
Well, we know you like that. So are we there? Are we?
We're here. Natasha is at lunch waiting for someone. And Carrie walks in looking.
This is out.
It's crazy how hot she looks. Like her boobs are bouncing all over. Like she's in that newspaper Christian Dior dress. She looks. If I were Carrie, I'd be like, don't wear makeup. Look like shit when you go to her.
Seriously.
Don't look like this.
Look like you've been crying the last 8 days.
Don't look hotter than Natasha. So she walks up and she somehow got the assistant of a friend, but she figured out where Natasha was. And she sits down and Natasha says, I'm going to scream. And Carrie's like, no, please don't. I'm only going to be a second. This part is very funny. And Carrie's like, I'm so parched. Do you mind if I have some water? And she takes Natasha's water and doesn't just drink it, but she like chugs it slowly, and Natasha is just like watching her. It's a funny bit. Now Carrie apologized and she said, this was never meant to happen. I never meant for this to happen, and I wish there was also, this is the speech she's come up with after all of this waiting. This is all she's got. I never meant for this to happen, and I wish there was something I could do to take it all away, but I can't. So I came here to say, because I needed to say, how sorry I am. I am deeply sorry for what I did to you. It was wrong, and I'm sorry. And Natasha goes, are you through? And Carrie goes, yes. Thank you for listening. And then she gets up and Natasha's like, wait, I'm sorry too. And Carrie's like, you are? They're both playing this scene very well. And Natasha goes, yes. I'm sorry for all of it. I'm sorry he moved to Paris and fell in love with me. I'm sorry that we ever got married. I'm sorry he cheated on me with you. And I'm sorry that I pretended to ignore it for as long as I did. I'm sorry I found you in my apartment, fell down the stairs, and broke my tooth. I'm very sorry that after much painful dental surgery, this tooth is still a different color than this tooth. Finally, I'm sorry that you felt the need to come down here. Now, not only have you ruined my marriage, you ruined my lunch. And I guess that's just what I had to say. I mean, she fucking got her.
I would have been way meaner. So. Go off, Carrie. Good job, Carrie. You got away. Rat.
I just love that the way she's like, I have something to say too. And Carrie's like, you do? Like, as if like she's expecting Natasha to be like, I feel bad too. You know, I shouldn't have taken your man.
Natasha's like, I understand. John is a very manipulative man.
They're meant to be together. Honestly, I hope it works out. That's what Carrie ultimately does want, is for Natasha to almost give her blessing.
She's like, I think you guys are soulmates. And then Carrie's like, we're soulmates? Carrie's exhausting, but I will say, I loved this episode.
Great. And Natasha's date arrives now. And then this voiceover is also wild because it's all about Carrie. She goes, as I walked away, I realized that my actions have set into motion a cosmic chain of events that put Natasha back on the singles market. And as a single woman in New York, as if single women in New York didn't have it hard enough. And somewhere out there, Big was alone again. The universe may not always play fair, but at least it's got a hell of a sense of humor. Dun, 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 dun.
What was the funny? Anyway, okay.
Well, it's like, oh, now Big is single, and so now what? Oh, I know what. They're gonna fuck again.
Okay, I'm pretty sure the screenshot for like next week is like her and Big in water.
Yeah, she had to get a tetanus shot after that because she cut her foot. Some trivia for you there.
Where was that though?
It was in like Central Park. They made on like a dock.
I was getting mixed up. All right, guys, make sure one, you hit subscribe and you hit like. Also, leave us a comment. Also, if you felt like leaving us a 5-star rating. Remember, if it's any lower than 5 stars, I will spiral out, and you don't want to hear it.
And I'll never see it.
And Amanda doesn't. Amanda will somehow miraculously not care, I guess.
I don't look.
Guys, check out our weekly roundup every Wednesday live at noon MST. Yeah. Google it and figure out when that is for you. And check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/pod and the city. Every week, we're having extra episodes, and make sure that you're with us because we're getting to season 3 of And Just Like That real darn soon, baby.
Have a wonderful week, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
We love ya. Bye-bye.